The UN announces support for the efforts aimed at solving the crisis in Syria politically and welcomes Russia's efforts in this respect. Eight people are arrested in France on the charge of belonging to a cell that recruits armed men in favor of the terrorist ISIL organization in Syria. Intense airstrikes are launched by the Iraqi army on ISIL terrorists in Al-Anbar. A large number of terrorists are killed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Yarado Krikorian from the News Center in Damascus. UN Secretary General's spokesman Stefan Dujarric has affirmed the international organization's support for any attempt to find a political solution to the crisis in Syria, including Russia's crucial and ongoing efforts for this purpose. In a press conference, Dujarric also expressed the UN support for the preliminary consultative meeting on Syria held in Moscow last week. In Damascus countryside, Syrian Arab Army units have targeted terrorist organizations' positions in Zabadani mountains, eliminating a number of terrorists and maintaining control on Zahrat al-Marjiyat and Zahrat al-Warda al-Sarukhiyya, as well as Marj in Zabadani province. The inhabitants voiced solidarity with the Syrian Arab Army in defeating the terrorists. French Interior Minister Bernard Cazeneuve today announced the detention of 8 persons in the French cities of Paris and Lyon on charge of belonging to a terrorist network that recruits people to join ISIL ranks in Syria. He said there was no information linking them to the terrorist attacks which occurred on the 7th and 9th of last January in France. An official at the French General Prosecutor's Office in Paris also said they are now in the custody of the police. It is a matter that has to do with Syria. 5 Frenchmen, it is to be noted, had been referred to the French judiciary last Saturday on the charge of being implicated in forming a cell that worked for recruiting young men in order to be sent to fight on the side of terrorist organizations in Syria and Iraq. Welcome back. Iraqi troops have eliminated a number of ISIL terrorists during military operations in the outskirts of the northern Ad-Dujail province and Samarra in Salah ad-Din Governorate, south of Tikrit. In Al-Mosul, 4 terrorists from ISIL were killed, including one of their leaders, Uthman Ahmad, dubbed Emir, during an attack carried out by the Iraqi army on their positions east of Al-Mosul. Battles and violent clashes are still going on in a number of areas in Al-Anbar. In Egypt, a number of people were killed in a bomb blast in Qasr al-Nil Street in Cairo. An Egyptian security source said the blast inflicted material damage on Bahlar Path, where the terrorists planted the roadside bomb. Meanwhile, Egyptian security forces discovered 2 bombs in a square near Cairo airport terminal. Explosive experts were able to defuse it without injuries. In Sinai, a military source said that 2 roadside bombs planted by the terrorists exploded on the road, which the armed forces used in the city of Rafah at the border with occupied Palestine. The blasts left no injuries. The Egyptian army continued its operations in Sinai to eliminate the terrorists who target civilian and military sites. In occupied Palestine, Israeli forces of occupation which are stationed on the borders of Gaza Strip opened gunfire at Palestinian farmers east of Al-Maghazi camp in the center of Gaza Strip and prevented them from reaching the agricultural land. Israeli torpedoes also heavily struck the Palestinian fishermen's boats in the sea off the shore of Rafah, south of the Strip. Finally, in our local news, the 10th Electoral Conference of the Medical Syndicate kicked off at the Damaros Hotel in Damascus yesterday under the motto, "We, Syria's physicians, pledge to fulfill our oath of allegiance to the homeland."
The conference is held under the patronage of the Ba'ath Arab Socialist Party Assistant Regional Secretary, Engineer Hilal, in the presence of Prime Minister Dr. Wael Halaqi. In his word during the opening ceremony, Dr. Halaqi stressed the need for the conference to come out with results that would contribute to the development of syndical work, improve the standard of the medical sector, and enhance its ability in the face of the terrorist war waged on the Syrian people. Hilal pointed out that the current challenges require multiplied efforts to stand on the side of the people in the face of the terrorism that has been backed militarily, financially and psychologically by Zionism and the reactionary neo-colonialist forces, with a view of undermining the will of the Syrians and their valiant army.
The medical staff in Syria has been greatly harmed due to the ferocious war in the country, but earnest effort is being exerted for the restructured distribution of the medical cadres, which is necessary at present due to the immigration to areas of safety.
The meeting was, the principal meeting idea was to elect a new board for the syndicate, and the meeting was organized fully by the syndicate. It was a nice idea for a nice meeting, and all the members shared effectively in all the activity of the assembly.
On his part, head of the Syrian Physicians Union, Dr. Abdul Qadir Hassan, referred to the role of conferences in outlining syndical policies and laying down the plans and programs that positively impact the level of services offered to citizens. He pointed out that the union's work plan for the upcoming phase will focus on the care to be rendered to both the military and civilian patients, and to maintain cooperation with concerned ministries in order to establish institutions and form medical teams that would treat the wounded and rehabilitate them and offer consultations and appropriate medical therapy to them.
This time is very hard time, and medicine have a big role, even in not only in treating people. Now we are our job to treat everyone, and so this part of our history need everyone to treat everyone. So the syndicate effort in this part for contributing in treating our people is very important.
At the end of the conference, new members of the Syrian Physicians Union for the years 2015-2016 have been elected.
With this, to conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after short.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. With the aim of alleviating the burden of the crisis in Syria, a bazaar was opened by Al-Quds International Institution, Syria branch, at Al-Jala Sports City in Damascus.
Seeking to alleviate the burden of the suffocating crisis in Syria, and out of the belief in integrating efforts to reach the best results, the International Al-Quds Institution in Syria opens its third charity market with the participation of economic and social activities at Al-Jala Sports City.
During our seeking to contribute to ease the crisis that passing through our country, Syria, and from the believing of the owners in the necessity of the united all the efforts to make the best results, Al-Quds International Foundation in Syria, they organized the third charity market with the effective participation and significant present for the economical and social events.
Al-Quds Charity Market, which will continue until the 5th of February, provides a good opportunity for the visitors to go shopping at suitable prices with the participation of several important establishments, such as the Consumers Establishment and the Establishment of Storage and Marketing, which provided various kinds of goods and food that would suit all tastes.
Before the crisis, the Real Estate Bank of Syria was planning to extend its services to become a universal bank, covering a large range of financial services, which include commercial, investment and retail banking, and accepting deposits, encouraging saving and giving guarantees, in addition to its salary file services. More in the following.
The Real Estate Bank of Syria has been created in 1966 as a public establishment. It has the widest network of branches covering all the governorates and major cities, with a large number of sale points across the country. The bank has introduced ATMs and the use of Visa cards and MasterCards into Syria. But during the crisis, many obstacles and difficulties have faced its computerized accounting equipment, including the Phoenix banking system, because of the unstable supply of power to the ATMs and the lack of new ATMs as a result of the sanctions imposed on the country.
Now we are planning to buy 100 ATMs from Iran, and these ATMs will cover Damascus and its suburbs, especially in the safe areas. But in order to be activated, these ATMs need software, which consequently needs a compatible Phoenix system. We are doing our best to feed the ATMs with money, and we work according to a schedule, even during holidays. Most of the time, the ATMs are out of service because of the power failure. Regarding the bank liquidity, I assure that there is no shortage. Any consumer can collect his money from the sale points via his card. Many people don't know they can use e-services like paying the bills of their phone lines, cell phones, electricity or water. Transactions are even made through using e-services.
The power failure and the shortage of equipment, besides the shortage of fuel, may cause delay of technical support and money supply to these ATMs. However, the bank is trying to continue the services it provides to its consumers.
The weekly trading value of Damascus Securities Exchange has exceeded 43,280,000 Syrian pounds. However, the trading bulk reached about 350,600 shares, as the DSE index reached about 1,262.11 points. On the other hand, the banking sector ranked first, followed by the insurance sector, then the industrial one. Oil futures rose today, adding to gains more than 11% in the prior two sessions. Brent crude oil futures were up $1.90 a barrel. On the other hand, oil prices jumped in the past 2 days after data showed the number of U.S. oil drilling rigs had fallen the most in a week in nearly 30 years. U.S. stocks ended sharply higher yesterday after a late rally driven by hopes for a Greek debt deal, as an energy shares bounced with oil prices. Japanese stocks, on the other hand, fell today after disappointing U.S. economic data weighted on estimate, while airlines and rubber makers continued to drop on a rebound in oil prices. Gold advanced for a second session in 3 today, as a wobbly outlook for the global economy burnished bullion's safe haven appeal, with holdings at the top gold fund at their highest in 4 months. Spot gold was up 0.4% to reach $1,279 an ounce. The euro stood steady at $1,1328 after gaining 0.5% overnight on hopes for a deal on Greek debt and poorer U.S. economic data. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.